Hi everybody, it's Giacomo Lanciano here. I'm a PhD student in data science at Scuola Normale Superiore and Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, the two major Italian schools of advanced studies. What I'm going to present today is SOM-based behavioral analysis for virtualized network functions, a joint work between Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna and the Vodafone Group. Specifically, this article describes an approach to anomaly detection in the context of an NFV infrastructure that is already being employed by Vodafone operators to detect and diagnose anomalous VMs behaviors. In particular, such approach leverages self-organizing maps, a type of shallow neural networks, for clustering time series related to resource consumption patterns of the VMs, given their ability to preserve the topology of the input space in the projected space. Here, figure 1 summarize the proposed workflow. First, the raw data are preprocessed to address data quality issues and to retain only the relevant data, of course. Then the input samples are built by splitting the time horizon under analysis according to a period, for instance, 1 day, merging the individual metrics contributions with the same period in a single vector. Afterwards, the data are fed to the SOM that outputs for each of them the best matching neuron, providing a clustering, of course. Below in figure 2, you can see an example of the output generated by such analysis. Here, each subplot represents the weights of the individual neurons of the trained SOM, each one specialized on VM behavior observed in the training set. This output can be used by an operator for visual inspection to spot possible suspect behaviors and check which VMs are associated with them. Furthermore, a VM can be observed through its movement among its best matching units during the time horizon under analysis, so that any changes to a far away VMU could be used to trigger an alarm. For instance, here we can see that the CPU capacity contention percentage metric exhibits a suspect behavior since its shape follows closely the daily traffic pattern of the involved VMs, whereas in a healthy scenario, it is expected to have these metrics to stay flat at 0 or at most to undergo a slight increase during peak hour only. Another possibility is to look at this data from a Pervy perspective. In figure 3, you can see few heat maps based on the resulting distribution of the input samples over the neurons of the previous figure, highlighting which are of the most recurrent behaviors of the individual BNFs. From such view, we could spot, for instance, that SBC and TAS VNFs are behaving correctly, as they are mostly associated to an expected behavioral pattern. On the other hand, the DRA exhibits peaks every 30 minutes for the CPU capacity contention percentage metric. That is quite unusual. Then figure 4 here reports some of the most relevant results obtained by running an extensive grid search to identify the optimal SOM hyperparameters. In particular, a total of 1,600 different configurations have been tested, uncovering some key insights such as using a low value for the neighborhood radius, that is the sigma parameter, together with a low learning rate, yields to very bad results in terms of quantization error. On the other hand, an high sigma with a low learning rate lead to smaller quantization errors for SOMs larger than 12 by 12 neurons. Although one needs to be very careful when using larger maps because results tend to become less interpretable as many neurons specialized on very similar patterns. There are, of course, some spaces for improvements in this work. For instance, while some parameters can be easily tuned via automated approaches like grid search, others still need manual tuning by domain experts. Improving the automation degree of this approach is among our ideas for future works, as well as increasing the detection capability of the system by employing deep learning models. If you're interested in diving deeper into this work, just drop me an email. You can find my address in the bottom right corner of this poster. And thanks for watching.